Good morning, everybody. Hello and welcome. How's everyone today? I hope I find you well. I hope you're all having a good time. And I hope you're all ready for a fun stream. Today is Thursday, the 10th of September, 2020. I'm DSP, of course. Hello, hello. Let me make sure I knew it. My air conditioner was on high. I was wondering why it was so loud. Because it's actually on high fan. Let me turn that down. So, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. How you doing? What's going on? Okay. How you doing? I demand an answer. I can't hear anyone. What's going on? Have I lost my hearing again? Oh, that's right. I'm talking to you over the internet. I can't hear you. That's right. You can hear me, but I can't hear you. Oh, yeah. All right, guys. So how you guys doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're ready for a fun day full of streams. Good variety on the streams today. Got a couple topics to talk about this morning that I'm excited about. Good stuff all around today. Okay? What are we doing today? Let's talk. First of all, the first stream is the conclusion of Tell Me Why. All right? This is a game I've been playing for 2 weeks now. A new episode every week. And although admittedly some of the writing is cringeworthy and last week half of the episode was incredibly boring, today's the big conclusion, where apparently we're going to get our answers about what happened in the past. Why did the mother of our twins, who are the protagonists of the game, seemingly want to kill them? What led to this? What was actually going on? Are there actually mythical creatures? What's with the seemingly psychic connection between the twins? All right, we might be getting answers today. I hope. It would be nice if we got some answers today, considering this is the conclusion of the game. Okay? Now here's the thing. I have decided, well, not decided, I thought over the weekend about the plot of this game, and I think I figured it out. I'm going to talk about this when we actually start the game today. All right? But I think I know what's going on. I think I've deduced what is really happening here. Okay? So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a moment. But that is today's main gameplay stream. Each episode of Tell Me Why has been between 3 to 3.5 hours long. So chances are this will be enough to fill the stream for today. Now, if we happen to finish early, then we can just hang out and chill, do some Q&A, or depending on how much time is actually left, we'll see. It all depends on how much time is actually left on the stream. We'll determine what else we do. But I'll be streaming till around 4 p.m. here. I hope you guys will enjoy. Now, keep in mind, even this game is not particularly a cup of tea, we can just chill and hang out and have a good interactive time, shoot the shit, etc. And not have to worry too much about the game itself, since the game basically plays itself. It's a narrative-based game, right? But I am interested to see how they end it. So. Itchy. Itchy. So, that's the first thing today, guys. Then later tonight, on the late stream, we're going to continue with Batman Return to Arkham City. 2 more hours. Last time around, we had some good plot developments. And this time, what we're doing is, last time, remember, we beat Mr. Freeze, did the Mr. Freeze boss fight and all of that. Now we're actually looking for Mr. Freeze's wife, which is one of the major side quests of the game, is to find out what happened with his wife. She was, kidnapped, supposedly by the Joker. And also we're trying to track down the Joker because he stole the cure. The cure to the blood disease that's going around, the Titan blood disease that's going around Arkham City. We have to track down Joker and try to get that back. Okay? So that's later tonight. 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. 2 hours of Batman fun later tonight. Okay? Tomorrow, we return to Tony Hawk for a major stream. Now, for those who've been watching my Tony Hawk gameplay so far, I'm not good at this game. I'm seriously not good at this game. I'm terrible at this game. Just being honest here. Alright? But people seem to like to watch me play and learn and try to succeed. I've gotten to the next to last stage, which is the streets. And after that, there's one more, the Roswell base, apparently. So there's 2 stages left in the game of Tony Hawk 1. And my goal tomorrow will be trying to unlock, I think it's like, I need to do 8 to 11 new things And if I can do that, then I can unlock the final stage. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, though. We're going to see. At some point, I'm also going to switch over to Tony Hawk 2, which is a whole new game, a whole new set of stages to play. So, yeah, it's going to be fun tomorrow. Major stream of Tony Hawk. Now, again, I don't know if that'll be my final stream of Tony Hawk or not. It all depends on how things go. And if you guys continue to like the streams, you know, like I thought maybe the first stream was going to be the last one, but you guys seem to have been enjoying it, so, you know, I'll keep at it for as long as you guys are enjoying it, all right? Tomorrow night, the late night stream will be my weekly throwback Street Fighter session, 2 hours of retro Street Fighter fun. Hope you guys will join me for that. And then on Saturday, another major stream of Marvel's Avengers. We have now gotten Hulk, Iron Man, and Black Widow just made her appearance in the game. So we'll be playing with some, and going from there. Saturday night is the return of Fall Guys. All right, Fall Guys finally returning to the streams. Sunday, Monday will be a combination of either more Tony Hawk or Avengers or both, and likely more Batman one night, and then maybe some Fire Emblem. We'll see. You know, we'll play it by ear here, but that's kind of what I'm thinking for the next few days for streaming. Now, next week, oh, excuse me. Oh, man. Next week, we've got multiple new releases. Okay? Next week, we've got both the new WWE game, and we've got the Crisis remake. Okay? So I hope that you guys are excited for more new releases this month. I know, sadly, the beginning of this month, the new releases were kind of a disappointment considering the fact that I was sick and I wasn't here for the first 2 days for the new releases. It sucks. So we'll see what happens, but should be fun next week when we actually have some new releases as well to mix in with all this other stuff we're doing. Okay? So, that's the deal. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you were not here yesterday, you missed a lot. Yesterday's pre-stream, I revealed my new setup here in the office, that I've gotten rid of the love seat. I'm now in a new chair, which really isn't a new chair. It's a chair that's 11 years old. It's actually older than the love seat, but I never really used it, so it's like new. I have the ability now to kind of turn either towards you guys to talk directly to you or turn to my TV, so I can actually face my TV when I play games for the first time in 6 years. I have more room and flexibility to do things in the office now, you know, including I have a better setup here with the keyboard, so I can actually update the leaderboards more easily. I have easy access to all the things around me, like the Gunner glasses. And, you know, eventually, well, I'd like to do some other big improvements to the office, like possibly the addition of a green screen behind me and stuff like that, okay? So good stuff. It's definitely good to make improvements for the first time in many years. And, you know, I hope you guys liked it. Overwhelmingly yesterday, the feedback was telling me that the new setup is good. You guys like the new setup. You feel it's going to be beneficial to the streams. And you're happy that I did actually do... You're happy that I do actually have improvements to the streams, and I'm working on making things fresher for you guys. I am. So I hope that you guys are ready for some fun, and hopefully, what I've been telling you guys is if things keep going well, you know, this year things were going very well with the vest streak, obviously, which is over now. But if things continue to go pretty well here on the streams, I can actually not only maybe afford one or both of the new consoles coming out, but maybe I can also, you know, do improvements like get a green screen or upgrade some other equipment, etc., which is what I would like to do. But we have to see what you guys say, okay? Well, I'm sorry. We have to see what happens with the streams, what I meant to say. We have to see, you know, how things go. Because now the vest streak is over. We don't know what's going to happen, you know? The vest streak was a pretty crazy 6 positive months, and it helped me out a ton. It got me caught up on all this back stuff that I was backed up on. But now we have to see, you know, moving forward, what's going to happen. Speaking of which, yesterday was my return stream, you know, from my day off, and also the first day of my new setup and everything. The vest streak had ended, and you guys were very supportive on the streams. I want to say thank you to anyone who contributed yesterday in any way to the streams. Is very much appreciated that even though the vest streak was over, you guys contributed and, you know, helped me out. So thank you for that. Of course, there's always a flip side to it. And the flip side to it is I had a fun full day of streaming yesterday. Okay, like lots of fun. And I'm done streaming for the day. and I get a notice from PayPal that I got a ridiculous amount of chargebacks again. This time around for tips from like 4+ months ago. Ridiculous. Yeah, these tips came in like in May. And I'm getting chargebacks from multiple tips from fucking May. Like, what is this? Now, I haven't even had a chance, these came late last night. So I haven't even had a chance to look them up or dispute them yet. I get the feeling it's more tips from that same guy who tipped me a bunch over a course of like 8 months. He had tipped me like some crazy amount of money. And then all of a sudden, a few months ago, he charged me back a ton of them. And I disputed them all. And if I remember correctly, I think I ended up, it took like 3 months, like 2 to 3 months or something crazy like that. But I'm almost positive that I won the majority of them. I think there may have been like 1 or 2 that for some odd reason I lost. And this is, again, I talk about it every once in a while. This is the fucked up and weird thing about PayPal. There doesn't seem to be a consistent system that PayPal uses to determine who wins a chargeback, right? It just seems like a broken system. I get notified the chargeback has happened. They ask me for more info. I send them said info, including information about the stream where that tip came in, showing them the pop-up message when it happened, letting them know if that person tipped me any more that day or around that time period, and sending them all that related info. And sometimes PayPal says, okay, you win, you keep the money. Sometimes PayPal says, all right, we're suspending this for now and we'll get back to you. And it could take weeks to months for them to ever respond if they ever do. And then sometimes they say, oh no, you lose. And they take the money away. And it just doesn't make any sense. The system is not consistent at all. And I'm wondering if they actually have any set criteria as to how it works, or what, like, is there a way to increase your chances of winning the chargeback? I have no idea. All I know is I do the same thing every time, and sometimes I win and sometimes I lose. And I don't understand the process because they don't explain the process, you know? So, for me, yesterday was a mixed bag. Because yesterday I had a lot of fun on stream with you guys, with Avengers and Tony Hawk. We had great positivity, we had fun, we were talking, hanging out, having a good time, and you guys were very supportive on the streams, which I appreciated because I was coming back, there was no vest streak anymore, and I was coming off of that, and you guys were still very supportive, and it made me feel positive about the future. And then I get a bunch of chargebacks overnight, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So, like, literally, no exaggeration, about half of what I made yesterday is now suspended, you know? About half of what I made on the streams got suspended because of these chargebacks, and now I have to, tonight, take the time to go to each one, because there's a ton of them, and go to each one and look up the information, send it to PayPal. Hopefully I can win these and get them cleared up, because I don't think it's fair that we have a great positive day and people contribute because they like the streams, and then half my income gets taken from me for nothing. I didn't do anything wrong, right? It's bullshit. So anyway, one of the major changes we made yesterday is there's no more vest streak, but we have tiered tip goal rewards, all right? At $50, I put on the Gunner glasses. That way there's a low threshold reward, since a lot of people were complaining that $100 for a tips goal is so much and you don't really get much of a reward if it doesn't get hit. So that's the tier 1 reward, essentially. The second reward would be if you hit the full $100, you get to choose a vest for me to wear, okay? So that's the tier 2. And then tier 3, which would be doubling the tips goal. So far, the craziest thing we came up with is spinning in my chair 10 to 15 times until I get so dizzy. And we actually did this at the end of the Avengers stream yesterday, and I really was so dizzy, I almost fell out of the chair. And I only spun 10 times. I'm actually thinking I should spin like 15. I think it's really, I mean, admittedly, it's stupid, right? It's a very stupid reward, but we haven't really thought about anything that you could do for a high-level reward. You know what I mean? So we'll think about it, I guess. But the thing is, there's no guarantee we're even going to hit the tier. There's no guarantee we'll even hit the tip skull moving forward. You know, there's no more vest streak. And like I told you guys, without the motivation of the vest streak, it's very unlikely we're going to be hitting the tip skull every day. I would love it if we did. It would certainly be super supportive if we did, because like I said, with all the things coming up, the new consoles and all the new games that I'm going to need to buy in the hardcore gaming season, plus the cost of the new consoles, plus I'd like to do a green screen. Then we can look to the future for things like upgrading my chair, which I'm probably going to need to do because this chair is not great. And maybe a new webcam. you know, and then the possibility of, you know, next year, maybe looking at things like a new PC and stuff. These are all things that are possibilities, you know, depending on how much I make. And if the vet streak had kept going, these were all concrete. Like, it was definitely going to happen. But now that the vet streak is over, it's uncertain, you know, what level of support I'm going to get. We have to see. We have to play it by ear and see what happens. Okay? So, let's see what happens moving forward. But thank you in advance to anyone who's considering contributing to my stream today. As you know, contributions are not mandatory on my streams. I'm here just to hang out and have fun with games no matter what. That's what I'm here for. But if you contribute, you help tremendously. You make me feel more positive about the future. You know, I guess we'll see. Well, I'm feeling good. You know, if yesterday was any indication, you know, yesterday you guys came and supported me even though there is no vet streak, and I appreciate that. I hope that's something we can keep going, you know, so that we can look for positive improvements moving forward. All right. So there you go, guys. Now let's talk about some unrelated things to my streams. So some news I want to talk about. First of all, we are reaching the end of the tenure of Yoshinori Ono over at Capcom. For those who don't know, Ono, or Ono-san, as he was known by, was the head of the fighting games division of Capcom for a decade or more. He was the guy who basically oversaw Street Fighter during its resurgence during the Street Fighter 4 era. And then, of course, highs and lows, right? You had Tekken Cross, or Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which was a huge flop. But then you had Marvel vs. Capcom, which was a huge success, right? And then you had Street Fighter V, which had one of the worst and most botched fighting game launches in history, but somehow managed to still be popular and recover over time. To this day, still coming out with new seasons and things, new characters. But then you had the humongous flop of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So this guy has had some high highs and some low lows under his belt, right? Now, some would argue that Ono has been a giant positive influence for Capcom, and that it's a huge loss that he's leaving the company. Others would argue that, honestly, Ono is not a good director at all, and the things that have been popular were not popular because of him, as can be seen by the fact that there's been some giant flops, which he was solely responsible for, and that maybe it's time for a change over at Capcom, all right? The rumor is, the reason that he's actually leaving the company is because they were working on Street Fighter 6. And Street Fighter 6 actually was supposed to be revealed this year, 2020. There was supposed to be a big reveal around E3 time, and Street Fighter 6 was supposed to end up being a title for PS5 that maybe even was going to be released by the end of this year, okay? Like, this was supposed to be a giant game for Capcom to coincide with the launch of the new console. And they even had promotional artwork that was found for Street Fighter 6 that looked like the game was ready to start being promoted and everything. But apparently, they basically, when the game was shown to, you know, management at Capcom was not pleased whatsoever. I guess the game, first of all, is supposed to be a team-based fighter. Unlike Street Fighter right now, which is one-on-one, apparently it's supposed to be team-based. Now, what that means, I don't know. Does it mean that's tag in, tag out, like the Versus series? Or does it ever mean, does it ever mean that maybe it was going to be like a 3-on-3 battle system like the King of Fighters series? Or was it going to be a variable system like the old Capcom versus SNK series, where each character could have a point base, and some characters could be ranked higher than others in power, in the amount of power they have? Who knows? We don't know. All we heard are these rumors about behind-the-scenes stuff, okay? So apparently, they showed this game off to management at Capcom, and the management were like, this game looks like shit. Like, they literally just destroyed it. They were like, this looks terrible. It looks like it's going to play horribly. We don't foresee this as being a game that's going to be a hit. And at this point, I guess Capcom management had enough of Ono. You know, keep in mind, most people who know Ono or have met him or have had interactions with him love the guy. They say he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I mean, he's infamous for having this Blanca action figure that is kind of like, oh, look, Street Fighter is at my core. I have a Blanca action figure that I show on social media and stuff. It's like, okay, but just because you're a nice guy doesn't necessarily mean you're a good game director, you know? And it's so weird to me that if you look at the track record of this guy, that he could have such high highs and low lows. It doesn't make sense. It almost seems to me like this guy, maybe his success really wasn't based, wasn't necessarily based on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he was steering the ship, but it was actually the people who worked under him who were actually doing the work that was making the games popular. Like, how is it with Street Fighter 4 that there were versions of the game that people absolutely loved at a tournament level, and then there were versions of the game where the game just completely rebalanced poorly and played like shit, and you had way unbalanced characters? How is it that you can have Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which was lauded and applauded and everyone loved, and then, you know, a few years later, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which everyone hated, and it died within like 6 months, you know? It's such a weird difference, and it almost seems to me like maybe it wasn't him who actually was doing all the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he was in charge, but it was really the people under him who were doing the work and making the game either good or bad. And maybe he, as a creative director, he wasn't so good. Maybe he had a more laid-back attitude. I don't know. It's just weird to me because when you have someone who's usually... I'll give you an example. Here's a perfect example, everybody. All right? Hideo Kojima. When you play any game that's made by Hideo Kojima, you know exactly what to expect. You know it's going to have high production values. You know you're going to have a pretty long, interesting story that's going to hook you. You know you're going to have some good, complex gameplay. Now, admittedly, you'll probably have some silly humor in there as well. You know, there's things you always know to expect from a Hideo Kojima game because he's the game director and he has this certain style to his directorial, you know, prowess. And you know what you're going to get. So for me, when I buy any game from Hideo Kojima, I know I'm probably going to end up liking it. Even a game like Death Stranding, where I hated the gameplay, but I actually thought the story and the production values of the game were top notch, and I still ended up enjoying that game last year very much. You see? So compare that with Ono. A game under Ono, I don't know what I'm going to get. I could be getting a great masterpiece. I could be getting a stinking pile of donkey shit. And that's kind of weird. Like, you don't want to be a game director who's known for being like a fluke. Oh, 1 or 2 of my games were great and the other 5 were bad, you know? It's kind of weird. How, you know, because again, some versions of Street Fighter 4 were good, some were bad. Street Fighter Cross Tekken was universally panned. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was good, but then Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was bad, universally panned. Street Fighter 5 is a mixed bag, one of the worst, most botched fighting game launches in history, although admittedly over time the game has recovered and made money. It's still regarded as one of the worst competitive Street Fighters ever made, you see? So, that's kind of, you know, what I'm thinking is maybe after over a decade with this guy at the helm, Capcom had enough and said, well, you know, we've kind of lost faith in you. You had tons of chances. And how is it we're this far into the launch of Street Fighter V, right? And really, the game hasn't made waves. It's really only alive because it's the only competitive Street Fighter that's out there right now. You know, it sucks that that's just the case. And, you know, Street Fighter 6 apparently in development and looked like shit. So basically the rumor is that Ono was told by Capcom, we're demoting you. We're demoting you. You're still going to work for us, but you're not going to be the creative director of Street Fighter anymore. So apparently Ono decided to leave Capcom entirely. He said, well, then I quit. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because he made a social media post this morning about it. Well, overnight, I should say, about it. Basically saying, goodbye, everyone. It's my last few days at Capcom. I just want to say thanks for the ride. It's been amazing, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, of course, everyone who responds to this, is basically saying, oh no, we're going to miss you and blah, blah, blah. But behind the scenes, everyone's kind of looking at it and like, well, maybe this is for the best. You know, we don't know who's going to replace Ono. There's rumors of people who are replacing Ono, but I don't think it's been like 100%, oh, this is the person yet. I guess we're going to have to see what happens. But I don't know. See, because some people have said now that Ono's not going to be in charge of Street Fighter, does that mean now that I feel like there's hope for the future? I don't know. I definitely think at this point we needed someone new at the reins, because this guy had over 10 years, and I mean, yeah, in a lot of ways with Street Fighter 4, that game was responsible for relaunching fighting games at a competitive level and basically the renaissance of fighters. And then Marvel vs. Capcom 3 kind of rode that gravy train, but after that, it's been all downhill from there. I mean, can you tell me in the last 5 years one major thing that Capcom has really done with fighting games outside of just promoting the shit out of Street Fighter 5, which sucks? No, they've done nothing. Everything's been a flop. So, I guess we'll see what happens. Maybe under new direction, Street Fighter now will flourish again. Will Street Fighter 6 ever even come out? Like, we have no information. We're supposed to come out this year. We were supposed to have info at E3, and here we are nearing the end of the year and nothing. And we got a shift of leadership. So obviously, you know, obviously things aren't as good as people thought they were over there, right? I guess we'll see. And by the way, shout out to VV Chang, who provided the new artwork for the pre-stream today. That kind of looks like my chair. It's not exactly the same as the chair that I use, but it's very similar. And that was VV Chang and Action Packed Action thought that up and whipped that up overnight. Since I debuted my chair yesterday, it's now part of the pre-stream artwork, which is kind of silly. So thank you for the new artwork. Appreciate that. Okay. The only other story I want to talk about, since my haters made such a fucking giant hoopla about it, because they're dumb fuck shitheads, and lied about it, literally with defamatory videos on YouTube that are illegal and should have been taken down. I figured I'd do a follow-up, talking about this stupid movie Cuties on Netflix, because now the movie apparently released, and now that people have actually seen it, it's fucking disgusting. Apparently, from what I understand, I don't know, I'm not going to see it. I don't have Netflix, and I have no intention of seeing this fucking movie regardless. This is supposed to be a movie, alright, that's supposed to be a coming-of-age movie about a bunch of 11-year-old girls in France who join a dance troupe, or form a dance troupe, and they are basically kind of lured into doing sexualized dancing because that's what's popular now, and they want to win a dance competition. Now, one of the girls is actually a Muslim, and her Muslim family is basically super duper against this and saying, no, that's, you know, it's sexualization of minors, you should not be doing this, it's against our religion, it's against who you are as a person, this is disgusting. And so what the movie's supposed to be is a movie that condemns the sexualization of minors, alright? But apparently now that the movie is out, what people are saying is, like, even though the message of the movie is that this is bad, the movie literally shoves this disgusting sexualization of minors down your throat a million ways. Like, there's a ton of sexualized dances with these underage girls. There's a scene where one of the girls has her pants pulled down, you see their ass. There's a scene, apparently, where one of the girls, like, flashes her chest. It's like, what the fuck is that? You know, here's the thing. I've made this comparison. I said, think about the movie Schindler's List. The movie Schindler's List is made to condemn the Holocaust, but it has gruesome scenes in it where it shows the Jews being killed, right? And the reason it does that is because they don't want you to forget history. They want you to understand this really happened. Now, during those scenes of the Jews being killed, is it glamorized? Is it, like, you know what I mean? Like, is it overdone to the point where it's overblown and it's just a constant killing of Jews the whole movie? Of course not. The movie is about showing that the Jews were humans just like everybody else. They didn't deserve to be mass murdered by the Nazis. And it showed that some of the people in Germany were quite good, like Schindler, trying to save the Jews. Okay? That was the point of the movie. Alright? So now, this movie Cuties condemns the sexualization of minors. Let's show the sexualization of minors 400 times during the movie, including these incredibly risque scenes that are disgusting because these girls are underage. You know? I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, now that we know what the movie actually is, because people have seen it and they're writing all this information about it, I'm fucking disgusted too. Like, you can condemn something without glamorizing it, you know, and sensationalizing it. And it seems like this movie wants it both ways. This movie wants to say, oh, this is bad, but by the way, here's an hour and a half of what we're saying is bad. You know, why even, if that's the case, if it's so bad, why give it so much attention? Why give it so much airtime? Why have these ridiculous sexual things going on with underage girls, right? So, to the idiots who said, Phil defended this movie. First of all, I did not defend the movie. What I did is based on facts. The facts were this movie won awards at the Sundance Film Festival for like best direction and stuff like that. And people were in the movie community. People were saying this movie was good, and it was not any of this stuff that it actually is. They were basically saying this movie is a condemnation of the sexualization of minors. Okay. And that's what I said. That's what it's supposed to be. Okay. Then that's what it is. I never said a movie that would have the sexualization of minors is good or should be defended at all. I said, from the information we were all given, if you actually read into it on the internet, this is what it was supposed to be. But apparently now the movie's out, it's not. Apparently now it's like, no. The reason that this movie was promoted the way it was on Netflix is because it actually is about the sexualization of minors, and in a sensationalized way for shock factor value. Okay? So, I'm sorry, but for me, that's disgusting. And now that we actually know what it is, and the thing is, no one knew what this movie was until today. Because today the movie came out and people actually watched it, and now they can actually write all this stuff about it and say this is what it really is. Up until this point, everything that was said about the movie was complete and utter speculation. So the fact that there were people trying to call me out saying I was defending the movie are fucking brainless idiots, because no one had seen the fucking movie yet. There's no way you could even say that until the movie had come out. And now that it's out, there's no way I'm going to defend this movie that sensationalizes pedophilia. That's disgusting. So, fuck that movie. It's funny, people are like, cancel Netflix, cancel Netflix. I don't even have Netflix. I can't cancel something I don't have. And I had no intention of ever watching this movie to begin with. You know? And now, certainly, I definitely want nothing to do with it at all. That is gross. You know? And the thing that gets me is that the director is apparently a female, a black woman from France. And she's like, oh, this is based on my own experience. So in your own experience, when you were 11 years old, you were doing sexual dancing, and your parents didn't, like, beat the shit out of you and tell you it was wrong? Like, what the fuck? I don't know, man. Maybe you should keep those kind of stories to yourself. Maybe we don't need to know about your fucked up childhood. Because I certainly don't want to know about that. What on earth? Anyway, so that's that. And that's the end of that. And that's the last time I mentioned that atrocity of a fucking piece of shit. Holy crap. Alright. So, let's move on. I thought there was one more thing I wanted to talk about, and now it's slipping my mind. The only other thing I do want to say is that there's definitely going to be some information about the PlayStation 5 coming very shortly. There has to be. Because Microsoft's information leaked. They were forced to then basically give the information publicly and announce that pre-orders will be open for the new Xbox consoles on the 22nd of September, which is coming up in about a week and a half here. 2 weeks? Just under 2 weeks, right? So, I guarantee you Sony is going to be revealing PlayStation 5 info. One of these days, it's going to be just one of these days, we're going to be sitting here on stream playing a random game, and that info is going to hit the internet, and I'm going to have to pause, and we're going to have to review it all together and see if the pre-orders are open, so I can see if I can pre-order my PS5 and go from there, you know? So, I'm excited, just as much as you guys, and I'm hoping that it's not a situation where the pre-orders are so ridiculous that I can't get one, you know? I definitely want a PS5. I want to cover that for you at launch. I want to play all I mean, Bug Snacks alone. If I can't play Bug Snacks at launch, I think that this could be the end of everything for me. If I can't play Bug Snacks at launch, I'm just going to shut it down. I'm just not going to stream anymore. Because that's like the epitome of what I've been doing. It's all been building. The culmination of 12 years of content creation is all leading to the Bug Snacks playthrough. So if I can't play Bug Snacks at launch because I can't get a PS5, I quit. I seriously quit. Okay. So anyway, that's that. Alright, let's get the shout outs, guys. let's do some shout-outs. Let's chat a little bit. See what's on your mind this morning before we jump into the conclusion of Tell Me Why here. Okay? All right. Hold on. And by the way, it looks like a very large, generous tip just came in. So thank you to whoever that was. I'm just starting shout-outs right now. I'm just starting shout-outs right now, and so I will get to that in a few minutes here. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Okay. All right. So we start off today with a cheer. The first cheer today is from Timbo Slice. He's breaking news hot off the press. Ninja returns to Twitch for a multi-year deal. Okay, who cares? Like non-news. First of all, he's already on Twitch, right? It was funny because when he returned to Twitch, it wasn't even like big hoopla or anything. No one really gave a shit. Besides his fan base, which I hate to say it, but you know, people who followed him from Twitch to Mixer, now back to Twitch. The gimmick of Fortnite is dying. If you haven't noticed, you don't really hear that much about Fortnite anymore. Even though they still are doing new seasons and everything, you don't really hear that much about it anymore. The hype of Fortnite has died. It's still popular, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not the game anymore. You know, now we've got new hype things like Fall Guys and other things that are taking up that mantle. And along with that, you know, the guy who got made popular for playing the game, obviously, he's going to dwindle a little bit too. And I haven't really heard a damn thing about Ninja. I don't care about Ninja. I don't care what he does, you know. Just seems irrelevant to me. I don't give a fuck what the guy does. So, good for him. He's already been back at Twitch. So, I don't see why news of him signing a deal is any news at all. It's basically the absence of a news. Okay? Alright, Bacon Plays to the $1.30 and said, good afternoon, how was your morning? Now, is Bacon Plays even on the stream today? Let me take a look here. Because here's the thing. Yesterday, someone tipped me a large tip saying that they were Bacon Plays. And I asked Bacon Plays, who actually was on the stream at that point. I said, was that you? And he said, no, it wasn't me. Someone's impersonating me. I was like, that's not good. Because sadly, when people do that, typically I get chargebacks. Typically it's someone who's trying to defend, or excuse me, to hide behind a name. And then they charge me back later, and it fucks me over. Okay? So, I'm curious if this is a legit tip from this guy or not. The real Bacon Plays isn't even watching currently. See what I mean? So, when I get a tip like this, I get worried this is some asshole. Right? Who knows? Well, he tipped me $1.30. He says, good afternoon, how was your morning? Well, it's still morning for me. It's still 11:23 a.m. for me. So my morning so far is pretty good. Had a little bit of excitement this morning because there was a cat outside. A wild cat. What the fuck happened here? Why did it not take my whole first word? That's weird. Yeah, there was a wild cat with no collar on in the backyard. Apparently it was roaming the neighborhood. And of course Jasper saw this cat and started freaking out. You know, running to the windows of the house to basically watch this cat roam around the neighborhood. So there's some excitement this morning with Jasper running around the house. But outside of that, pretty typical morning. I'm excited to see how Tell Me Why ends. I'm curious to see how the streams will do now that the vet streak's over. You know, many things going on. So, I'm doing good. So, thank you to whoever this was. Thank you for the $1 tip. I certainly hope this is legit. But I'll say this. I'm going to say this publicly, okay? Please, guys, if you're going to tip, do not use someone else's name. That is impersonation. That's always not been allowed on my streams. I don't want people trying to say or do things in someone else's name that's going to get someone else in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And sadly, some people do this. And also, I hate to say it, but it's very suspect that there may be a chargeback coming when this happens. So please, none of that nonsense. Okay? Only Iced Coffee did a 100-bit cheer. And that's the biggest cheer so far. Let's get that on the leaderboard, and then we'll see what he has to say. I think it's about Ninja, so it's going to be a pretty insignificant one, I get the feeling. Okay. So, Only Iced Coffee did a 100-bit cheer. and says the following. I think it's disingenuous that Ninja has a donation and tips button on his Twitch page, even though he already makes a shit ton of money from ad revenue, subs, sponsorships, and other deals, in addition to his multi-year and multi-million-dollar exclusive deal that he just signed with Twitch TV. It's disgusting. I'm not going to say it's disgusting. I'm definitely going to say it's exploitative of his viewers. Because, yeah, the bottom line is Ninja doesn't need that money at all. He's got a millions of dollar contract to sit on a stream and play video games with people every day. Okay? To give you some perspective, guys, all right, when I first started on YouTube, all right, I did have the ability to donate because I wasn't making any money doing it, okay? Once I started making money in 2011, 2012, 2013, those years I did not accept any kind of, like, tips, donations, none of that. I told everyone, if you want to contribute, contact me. If you want to donate a game or whatever for me to play on a stream, or excuse me, in a video, because back then I wasn't streaming. But I didn't accept any kind of monetary donations once I started making big money on YouTube. I felt that would be incredibly dishonest, and I knew it wasn't going to make sense. Now, in 2015, I moved out here to Washington State in 2014, and in 2015, number one, I got into massive debt from the move, and and many other things behind the scenes that we're not going to go into massive detail about here. And in 2015 was also the year where I saw a massive amount of negativity, a big decline in my income, and false copyright strikes that destroyed my YouTube channel, DSPGaming, which was my major source of income. So that year, I opened a Patreon, and I started accepting, contributions. It wasn't until 2017, when I became a full-time streamer, and I basically abandoned YouTube as a business model, all right, that I started actually accepting tips on a daily basis. I opened up an actual PayPal just for it, and now, for me, my major source of income is crowdfunding. It's you guys contributing during the streams, right? That's my major source of income. I have no behind-the-scenes contract with anyone, no partnerships with anyone, no TV deals, no shows, no exclusivity agreements where I'm getting paid millions of dollars, nothing. Is it disingenuous for Ninja to be asking for tips and donations on a live stream that he's already getting paid millions of dollars to stream? Yes. It's just objective fact. Yes. Absolutely. To ask your viewers for more when you're already a millionaire is insanely greedy. That's my opinion. You can disagree, and that's okay if you disagree. But I can tell you guys right now, all right? If I signed a contract for someone to stream anyway, if I signed a contract to stream on Twitch, if I signed a contract to stream on YouTube, and I was getting paid millions of dollars to do this, I would, that moment, shut down my PayPal and shut off contributions and donations and say, all you guys need to do is watch. If you feel like cheering or subbing, great. By all means, support the channel if you want. But, I'm not looking for nothing. I'm already a millionaire. That would be enough for me. The moment it happened, I would shut it down. That's me, though. That's me. That's my personal feelings on the morality of the situation, how I would handle it. Other people are different. For some people, it's never enough, right? So, not only get the millions of dollars exclusivity contract, but also milk your viewers, everything. And that's how it works. I don't even know what else to say, because it's not just him, it's everyone. Everyone who's these ginormous guys who have these giant agreements making millions of dollars, and then on top of that, let's get crowdfunding too. You don't need the crowdfunding. You know who needs the crowdfunding? The people who can't get those giant $1 million agreements for playing a single fucking game on stream. But who cares about them? You're the lucky motherfucker. Just keep taking, right? But that's how I've always been in my life. When I was making so much money on YouTube, those 2-3 years, like 2011 through 2013, and even through 2014, I did not accept monetary contributions whatsoever, at all. It wasn't until 2015 I opened the Patreon, and 2017 I started taking tips when I actually needed the help. All right, but that's me. And you guys, listen. If you guys want to go watch Ninja and support that kind of behavior and that kind of content, you can, and that's your choice. In life, you have to pick and choose what you support, what kind of people, you know, how they are, you know, that mentality. If you like that, fine. Maybe you think he's a go-getter, right? He's a go-getter. He gets out there, he puts out streams that are good, and he deserves any penny he gets from anybody, right? I don't know. You go ahead and support that. I don't care. But, you know, certainly for me, that's not what I would do, and that's not the attitude I would have. The minute that I'm getting exclusivity contracts and I'm a millionaire, I would never ask a single thing from any of you. Nope. That would be the end of it for me. I would shut all that down, and I would just write it out, you know? So there you go. Poopster Cheer says, do your neck or back ever get sore for not being able to face the TV? No. People ask me this all the time. They used to say all the time, you're looking to the right when you play games. Does this hurt your neck or whatever? And the answer is no. It never bothered me. Nope. Only Ice Coffee Cheer. He said, PayPal's funny with chargebacks. From what I've seen and talked about, with other streamers behind the scenes, it seems like a streamer wins 80% of chargebacks and loses 20. It seems like it's a pretty random, though, even if you provide the same evidence each time. Yeah, from my personal experience, I have no clue what in the holy hell, excuse me, that was disgusting. What criteria they use. It just doesn't seem to me they use any criteria at all. It seems like they've got, you know, a team of people who all were like basically trained with a textbook. You know what I mean? Like a call center. They just sit there and a case hits their desk, and they have a checklist, and they check these things off on the list. But even that is subjective, because you can have two people with the same exact information, and one person says, okay, you win, and another person says you lose. So I don't get it at all. I just don't understand it. I wish they would be more transparent, and I also wish that if there was a case where someone is doing a chargeback against you, okay, and basically, you know, you lose it, that there's an appeals process, or there's a process by which they at least provide you information, right, that says, here's how we came to this decision. Not just, you lose, tough shit. So, I don't know. I just don't know. Okay. Only Ice Coffee cheered again. Hold on a second here. Come on. He says, if for whatever reason you're not able to afford the new consoles this gaming season because of increases in chargebacks on PayPal, would you consider putting them on the Amazon wish list or allowing one of your fans to buy them for you? I mean, yeah, here's the problem with that, though. We've actually talked about this. Is that it seems like with these consoles that it's not going to be like it used to be. The rumor is that Sony may only allow one console pre-order per household, right? That's actually the rumor, is that Sony's going to track this because they don't want people scalping the PlayStation 5. They don't want people pre-ordering 20 of them and selling them on eBay for $1,000 a pop, which tends to happen with new console launches. Okay? So, what I'm thinking is, sadly, let's say, for example, right now, Amazon announces we're opening pre-orders for PS5. I could put it on my Amazon wish list, right? Chances are, someone might go to do it, but if they've already pre-ordered one for themselves, they can't pre-order an extra one, you see? That sucks, right? In addition, pre-orders are not guaranteed, and what I mean by that is someone could say they pre-ordered it, but they could cancel their pre-order. There could be someone who trolls me and says, oh yeah, I pre-ordered the console for Phil. And then they cancel the fucking pre-order and screw me over. And actually, that's what happened in regards to, if you remember, the Genesis Mini. Someone had said that they had pre-ordered that thing for me for months, right? And then they canceled it at the last minute and claimed, oh, I can't afford it anymore. It's like, you pre-ordered it 3 fucking months ago, right? In which case, you could have paid for it. Now you cancel it last minute. It wasn't. It was that person I think was trying to fuck me over, you know? And now we know that that's how it works on Amazon, is that even though you have a pre-order that looks like someone got it for you, they could just cancel it. So I don't necessarily know if that's a good idea. You know what I mean? What I would say is, no, I would want to do it myself in my own name with my own money, and that way it would lock it in, and I know for sure that it's going to happen, rather than relying on someone just kind of saying they're doing it, and the next thing you know, they fuck you over. Oh, I canceled it last minute, now you don't get it. Fuck you, Phil. Right? So what I would say is very simple. If you want to help with me affording the new consoles, tip me on the streams. That simple. You know? And to just keep it going. Keep the support going the way that it's been going for the last 6 months. And should be able to afford both consoles if that were the case. If it continues the way that it was going the last 6 months, I should be able to afford both the new consoles and cover them for you guys at launch. Okay? Fairly straightforward. Okay, Poopster Cheers says, do you think the game may have been good and the execs messed up? The execs can be extremely out of touch. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Poopster. He cheered this 30 minutes ago. So if you could elaborate on what you're talking about, okay, I will answer. Okay? Timbo Slice Cheers said, breaking news, hot off the press, Don Matrick is now taking over for Ono. Oh, great. That sounds, actually, that's a great idea. I think Capcom should hire Don Matrick. I do. They should. Oh, my God. Always Hot Tea did 100-bit cheers says, do you like cuties? Fill the oranges, I mean. They're not oranges, right? I've seen those. I know what you're talking about. Aren't they supposed to be like little citrus fruits? I don't think they're oranges, are they? They're like itty-bitty little citrus fruits. I've seen them at the grocery store. I never had those. You know what I used to eat? Clementines. Clementines are freaking good. They're these very small citrus fruits. They kind of look like oranges, but they're actually more narrow, almost like an oval. And man, they are full of flavor. They're much, I would say they taste less citrus burst, but more sweetness to it and tanginess to it. Those are really good fruits. Okay. Angelo Bestia cheers said, regarding cuties, not to get into conspiracy theories, but it just looks really suspicious. There's so many shows and news articles talking about understanding and accepting pedophilia. There's also an Amazon show saying pedophilia is a mental illness and should be understood. At the same time, there's a big Hollywood scandal going on about to be blown open like Epstein, Maxwell, and Prince Andrew. Just suspicious to me. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm sad that I ever opened my mouth once and mentioned this movie. I think it was because someone asked me on a pre-stream about it, and I just happened to have read about it on Twitter that I ever even talked about it. But now that it's out and everyone knows how disgusting it is, I'm done with this shit. It's fucking revolting, and I want to be no part of it. It's fucking gross shit. Okay? It's gross. Fuck. Alright, so Diaper Gaming 23 tipped me $53 and says, good morning. Good morning, Diaper Gaming. I appreciate the tip. Again, the only reason that I sound skeptical is because I am. Because we've gotten 2 tips so far today. One from Bacon Place, who's not even here and said yesterday it wasn't then tipping. And now someone whose name is Diaper Gaming. Do you understand why I'm a little skeptical here today, guys? So, Diaper Gaming 23, if indeed this is a legit tip, I thank you very much for the support. That is very nice of you. It's a very large tip. And in reality, that actually qualifies us for the Gunner Glasses right away. So, that's cool. At the same time, I mean, you gotta kind of be skeptical about that name and what it means. You know? I don't know. Right? So, it is what it is. Thank you, Diaper Gaming, for the tip. I appreciate that. I hope you're legit, and thank you for the support. Okay? Lunaba gifted a subscription to Hermione. Congratulations, Hermione. And thank you, Lunaba, for the channel support. Rumple Jerry tipped me $1. Says, what carpet cleaner did you use when cleaning up the room? My carpet needs a good one. I think it's Abyssal. Basically, my wife was looking all over at these different carpet cleaners. We went to quite a few different stores in the area. And there's so many different ones. There's one, it's the pet model. It's this model, it's that model. From the research we did online and from what the ones we saw in person, if you are serious about this, the recommendation I can give you is do not get one of these handheld ones. Because a lot of these it's a portable carpet cleaner. It's great. No, they're terrible. You don't want to be going on your hands and fucking knees cleaning your carpet by hand. Like, what are you, crazy? You know how long that'll take? And how much work that'll take? What you want to get an upright model that looks like a vacuum cleaner. Because it works just like a vacuum cleaner. They have many different ones in many different price ranges. Okay? We actually saw a couple models that were like, I'd say between $100 to $200. All right. Then we saw some models that were between like the $200 to $300 price range. Okay. And then we saw a pretty crazy series of models that were like ridiculously expensive. You know, like $300 to $500, which is nuts. It's like, Jesus, that's crazy expensive. How? I mean, I guess if you have a ginormous fucking house, all right, if you have a ginormous house and you have a ridiculous amount of carpeting and you want to get the absolute highest quality one, or I guess the flip side of that would be, let's say you have a ton of pets. What if you have like 4 dogs that are constantly fucking shedding all over your house and your carpets are a disgusting hairy mess? Then I guess maybe you could get one of these $500 models. You know what I mean? But it just seems to me there's some really reasonable ones out there. But I do not get the handheld ones. Can you imagine being on your hands and knees trying to clean a carpeted room with a hand brush, squirting shit into the rug? Now get one of the upright models. That's what we did. We got an upright Bissell. And it works just like a vacuum cleaner. It works really well. And man, does it clean the carpet well, because my carpet is like white now for the first time in 6 years, which is amazing. Okay. Let's see here. Poopster cheered. He says, advertising for donations is especially exploitative and greedy considering Ninja's target audience. Well, I mean, that's another thing entirely that you want to argue. That Ninja's target audience is kids. Kids who play Fortnite. Which is why he tries to make himself look like a cartoon character. I mean, it's very simple to figure out. And I could definitely kind of agree with you there, although some people would say that anyone who streams games then is exploitative because kids play games. I don't know about that. I really don't feel that much of my audience is kids. I think that much of my audience is going to, at the very youngest, probably young adults, but mostly people I would think in their late teens to 20s and 30s would be my target audience. I would not be advertising to children. I don't want children watching my content because I speak adult language and talk about adult topics all the time. There's no reason for kids to be watching my content, and I would never cater myself towards that, right? So there you go. Poops cheered again, said, sorry, Phil, I meant Street Fighter 6. You said the execs thought it looked bad. I guess execs might not know much when it comes to actual gameplay. I mean, I don't know. You're right, I don't know. We don't know the truth of the matter. All we hear are rumors. You know, why on earth would Ono be leaving Capcom after over 10 years of being in charge of Street Fighter? Unless something bad was going on behind the scenes. Right? So, who knows what the truth is? Jethro's main cheer says, don't get mad at this. Focus on the PlayStation 5 and take hoping for a fan getting either console for you completely off the table. It is. I didn't say I was going to do that, right? I told you. That would be stupid for me to do. The reason being, like, imagine if I did that, how dumb this would be. Can you imagine if I put that on my wish list, someone pretended like they were going to buy it, right? And then they don't, or they do, and then they cancel it, and it completely fucks me over, right? So that would be pretty stupid of me to do. I'm absolutely not doing that. I'm not dumb. And I'm certainly not going to rely on that. Like I said, if you like my streams, if you support the content, if you want to see me cover the new console releases, then tip me during the streams. You know? That's that simple. Tip me during the streams. That helps, and it lets me to directly get the stuff for myself rather than having someone do it through an Amazon wishlist or whatever. So, it's that simple. Okay? Only Iced Coffee, get the subscription to Superflash82. Congratulations, Superflash. Appreciate that. Or, Mr. Only Iced Coffee, I appreciate your support, and I hope you enjoy the sub Superflash. Okay. Let's do some shout-outs, guys. Shout-out to the top cheers of the week so far. The week is still young. It's only Thursday. It's weird. It feels like it's much later. You want to know why it feels much later in the week? Because my schedule's all screwed up because I was sick for 2 days last weekend. So it screwed my whole week up. It doesn't feel like Thursday to me. I feel like I'm in the middle of the weekend, but it's not. So thank you to those who've cheered so far this week. We got a tie for 9th place between Bad Guy 42399 and Always Hot Tea. In 8th place, Darkside Kenny. 7th place is Nose Vacuum. 6th place, Timbo Slice. 5th place, Ninstar Room. 4th place, Sambuca 2020. 3rd place, Spartan King. 2nd place, Hygienic Streamer Tips. And in 1st place, Psychic OC. Thank you guys very much for all of your cheering support this week. I also now would like to say thank you to those who've gifted subscriptions to the channel this week, including Ultima Cloud, Bad Guy, Chipe, R Breezy, and Jad F, who each gifted a single subscription. We've then got Timbo Slice, who gifted 3 subs. Lunaba, which is a 4 subs gifted this week so far. And Only Iced Coffee with a very humble and respectable 97 gifted subs. Holy shit. Thank you very much, Only Iced Coffee. And as I was saying that, ladies and gentlemen, Golden Nobles just dropped a sub bomb. Okay? 10 subscriptions. 10 subscriptions. Thank you, Golden Nobles. Let's read them out. Congratulations to the following people: Saggy Om, Spawn Killer, Johnny Matrix, Feckit, Femme Evoir, Geodude, Stevie B, 5986, Kuko, Reptoid, and Harvick. Congratulations to all of you. You just received gifted subscriptions from Golden Nobles. So congrats and thank you, Golden Nobles, for that. I appreciate that very much. Very good. All right. Okay, we're not done yet. Angelo Bestra here says, why not do a special stream event where the goal is to raise money to buy a PS5? And I think you missed a tip. Oh, I didn't miss a tip. It was a troll tip. I didn't miss a tip. It was definitely a troll tip. So, no worries there. I didn't miss any tips. Well, here's the thing. I've basically told you guys that at this point, I can pretty much afford the PS5. Again, this all hampers. This all relies on me basically continuing to make good money on the streams. As long as I can continue to make good money on the streams to afford everything else in the background, including my taxes and everything and all of that, and as long as nothing else comes out of the blue to screw me over, which is a very important factor here, because it seems to me that when things go really well for me, all of a sudden something comes out of left field to screw me over. Yeah, I'm doing really well. Oh my God, 6 months of a crazy vest streak. Oh, Phil gets a double ear infection, can't stream for 2 days, and then the vest streak dies, right? This is how my life goes. It's highs and lows. So as long as I keep getting the amount of support that I'm getting on the streams, you know, I don't see an issue. Like right now, if PlayStation 5 announced pre-orders, I could probably get it right now. I don't think there would be an issue there. All right? The issue is I get the PS5 pre-ordered, and now something happens, and I needed that money more importantly for something else, and I don't have it anymore because I just dumped it on a PS5. You see what I'm saying? And that's my concern. If my streams keep doing as well as they've been doing, then that's not a concern, because then that money is going to be replenished, and I'm good. But my concern is that I dump a chunk of money on something like that, and the next thing you know, oh my God, here comes something out of the blue and screws me over. Okay? So, we'll see. But right now, it looks all right. I don't think I need to do a special stream fundraiser for the PlayStation 5 or anything like that. Okay? If you guys haven't noticed, this year I haven't done a single crazy... Well, I don't remember about early this year. But basically, since this whole thing happened with the vest streak, there haven't been any marathon emergency streams. You notice that? Because you guys have been so supportive every day, I don't need to do that. I've been good. I've been able to afford everything that's come up against me. And by the way, it hasn't been an easy year. There's been a bunch of bumps and things happening behind the scenes. And I don't even need to bother you guys with them. Because the things have been so positive with the vest streak that, you know, I was able to basically handle them all easily. You know, the last one was so annoying. Was the fucking, my tax attorney charged me a ridiculous retainer just to get him to talk to the federal government to try to put me back on a payment plan. It was ridiculous how much he charged me for it. But I was able to afford it. You see? So, I guess we shall see what happens here. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping the streams stay as supportive and positive as they've done. I hope that nothing comes up to screw me over, and then we can have a nice positive end of the year. Okay? We'll see moving forward. But there's no reason for me to do a special stream to raise money for PS5. If it launched today and I could pre-order it, I should be able to get it, as long as nothing else goes horribly wrong, and then I need the money for something else. So... Username to me $4.20. Can we get an emote that's a water bottle filled with money for the detractors? That's pretty funny. So, if you don't know what that's a reference to, during the vest streak, okay, some nights on a late stream, I would run out of water in my water bottle here. And I'll say, okay, just hold on. I'm going to run next door, and I'm going to fill up the water bottle. I'll be right back. And my idiotic detractors said that I would go next door, and I would secretly text or call people who are on standby to support the vest streak and send money to keep it going. It was the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard. Just another one of their insano conspiracy theories. So yes, whenever I was filling up the water bottle, it was actually a lie. It was actually I was sending out the bat signal into the sky so that the people would come and contribute on the late stream to keep it going. It was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life from a bunch of the dumbest people I've ever seen or heard from in my life. So, there you go. Only Iced Coffee cheered. Thank you very much, Only Iced Coffee, for the cheer. And then he cheered again. He says, oh, he wants me to check sub count. And don't worry, we will check sub count before I end the pre-stream. I'll check it. He says, that's why I asked earlier. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let's try this again. That's why I asked earlier if there's any way that one of us can secure the PS5 for you in case something fucking super weird happens to you financially, just because of all the bad shit that's happened in the past few weeks. Again, there's really no way to do that. Sadly, I know for a fact people can cancel pre-orders because someone did it to me last year. If it was a way to lock in a pre-purchase of one of these consoles, I mean, that would be amazing. But sadly, there doesn't seem to be. So, no, like I said, the best way to support the channel, tip me during a stream. You know, keep the level of support the way it's been the last 6 months, even though there's no vest streak going. Keep supporting the streams, and I should be fine. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Okay? Okay. Silly and fun positive man did a 100-bit cheer. And he says, you're talking like all your money is instantly out of your hands on bills. Is that still the case? Are you able to save? No. But listen. When I had that debt up to my fucking eyeballs, that's very much what it was. As soon as the money came in, the money went right the fuck back out. Now, like I've told you guys, this is the first time, because of how amazingly supportive you guys were for the last many months, for the first time in many, many years, all right, my money doesn't immediately go right out the door, which is a great thing. Thank God, you know. And that's like I said, I have enough at least saved up that I know I could afford the PS5 right now if it were to drop. So that's a good thing, right? But am I going to sit here and tell you the exact ins and outs of my finances? Of course I'm not. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how everything's working and everything behind the scenes, because people use that information to harm me. And I'm not stupid. You know, too many people have used personal information from from my life to harm me in the past, and I'm not going to have that happen. So okay. Golden Nobles gifted more subscriptions. One to PS4 Switch Noob and one to Maggot Ministry. Congratulations to the two of you guys. Thank you again, Golden Nobles. That makes them up to 12 gifted subs for this week. Very nice. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's now check. I'm curious. How are we doing? We are currently at 724 subs. Yeah, we're at 724, guys. We are one sub away from hitting the tier 2 subs goal for the month. One sub away. How crazy is that? Pretty crazy. All right. So, oh God. Let us take a brief break. I'm just going to go use the restroom very quickly. And then when we come back, we're going to do Tell Me Why Episode 3. We're going to finish this up. Like I told you guys, we end up finishing this earlier today. That's fine. We can just hang out and have a chill session. If it ends up being super short for some reason, we could always maybe switch over to something else, dependent. But let's see how it goes. Being this is the final episode, maybe it'll be a little longer. I don't know. I guess we'll see. All right? So let's take a brief break. I'm going to use the restroom. I'll come back, and then we will begin, shall we? All right? Thank you guys so far. I'll be back in a few minutes with the conclusion of Tell Me Why. All right.